My happy marriage didn't last long. We were married for 2 years. I still loved my husband and spent every day taking care of him. I wanted to stay attractive for him, so I always made sure to look my best. But then, I found out he was cheating on me. He was the love of my life, but I decided I wanted a divorce. One afternoon, I thought my husband, John, was at work. Instead, he came home with his lover. He was holding divorce papers. Since after the trip we took last year, he started. His lover sat there without any emotion. When John said trip, he meant our honeymoon. We had planned it last minute because I got a work bonus, and John said he wanted to go. I paid for the entire trip. During our honeymoon, his ex-girlfriend, now his lover, contacted him. That's when he realized he still had feelings for her. What are you talking about? We were on our honeymoon, I said. There's no point arguing now, he replied. I love her, she needs me too. We just realized our feelings a little late. I do care about you, but she's the one I truly love, please understand. How can I? Did he really expect me to sign the divorce papers just like that? What about my feelings? John sighed like he was tired of the conversation. You'll find someone better. You probably don't want to stay in this house anymore, either. We'll be living here, so pack your things and leave within a week. It was like he didn't care about me at all. He was the one who asked me out, he was the one who proposed, and now, he was throwing me away. Throughout our marriage, he never took responsibility for anything. Suddenly, I felt nothing for him anymore. Without a single apology from him, I signed the divorce papers. John and his lover left. We'll be back next week, so make sure you're gone by then, he said. I felt empty inside. It all happened so fast that I couldn't even cry. I didn't feel betrayed, I felt fooled, and that hurt even more. The next day, I asked a friend to help me move back to my parents' house. I worked as a nurse, and John didn't earn much, so I had been paying most of the bills. Even though I was shocked by his betrayal, at least I wouldn't have to pay rent anymore. That was the one good thing about this situation. After settling at my parents' house, I started packing again, getting ready to move somewhere new. Then, Kathy, my mom said, John is here. It was raining outside, so I let him in. My mom gave me a sad look, as if she felt sorry for me. Why was my ex-husband here now? He said I wasn't the love of his life, so he wasn't here to get back together. Did he want money? I felt bad for thinking that, but knowing how much he spent and how much he hated working, it made sense. Maybe he just forgot something at the house. I decided to go downstairs and see what he wanted. What do you want? I asked. My dad sounded angry, but John stayed calm. I want to talk to your daughter, he said. How could he act so normal after everything he had done? What do you want? I'm busy. I open the door, hoping this will be quick. But then, I freeze. John is here, and sitting next to him, as if she belongs, is his lover. No, his new wife. Why is she here? This is my parents' house. What are they thinking? Any normal person wouldn't bring their mistress-turned-wife here. It's completely disrespectful. Calm down, John says. His attitude, and his nerve, disgust me. His wife stays silent, just like last time. Just hurry up and say what you need to, I snap. John frowns, probably annoyed by my tone. This is important. We haven't divided our property yet. I'm here to get my share. Money. Just as I expected. John looks eager, as if he's been waiting for this moment. Of course, I say, acting calm. I already knew he'd come for money, so I was ready. I take out my purse and place 3 dimes, 30 cents, into his hand. Here, this is your share. What? John and his wife stare at the coins in shock. What is this? He demands, then angrily throws the coins onto the floor. His wife, who had been silent, finally speaks. Are you joking? This isn't property, stop playing around. They both look furious. This is all the savings we had left, I say simply. John's face twists in disbelief. That's impossible, you had $200,000, give me my share, $100,000. He waves his hands, looking desperate. His wife nods beside him, agreeing. I don't say anything, I just stare at him. You wanted to settle this quickly, right? He yells, then hand over the money. He starts screaming, throwing things, completely losing control. This is the real him. For the first time, I feel relieved. I'm so glad I left him. Hearing the noise, my dad rushes back into the room. At the same time, my brother arrives home. Dad freezes for a second, seeing John acting crazy. Then, without hesitation, he grabs John's arms, pulling them behind his back to stop him from making more of a mess. I quickly explain the situation to my brother, who is a lawyer. He listens and immediately understands what's going on. John's wife, realizing my brother is a lawyer, turns to John in shock. "Wait, you never told me your ex-wife had a lawyer in the family," she yells. She looks panicked. I don't understand why these two are so obsessed with money. Even though I don't want to talk to John anymore, I decide to ask. "Why do you need the money so badly? You're the one who divorced me." "Because you said this woman is the love of your life. You chose her over me, you wanted me to leave." "That's right," John says, "but we still need to divide our property. The house we live in now, it's the one you and Teresa shared. We want to build a new home for ourselves. We also need a car since we want kids, and I'd like to take my family on a nice vacation. I just want to be a good husband, that's why I'm here, even though it's hard for me." Every word he says is selfish. So, he didn't want to come here? Well, I don't want him here either. He doesn't even understand how terrible his actions were, and he clearly isn't sorry. "And I supported us financially," he continues. "Giving me my fair share is the least you can do to thank your ex-husband, don't you think?" He snorts. "What? Did I hear that right? He said he supported me financially?" John never liked working. He'd leave work early just to play online games. Whenever he didn't feel like going, he'd call in sick, even after using up all his paid leave. He never tried to earn more, knowing that I, as a nurse, made good money. Sure, he handed me $100 a few times, but honestly, it felt like I was supporting an unemployed boyfriend who just lived in my apartment for free. He never did housework, never thanked me for working hard, and now he has the nerve to say he supported me? I was the one paying all the bills. I say, if anything, you should give me back the 30 cents I just gave you. "What are you talking about? You don't know anything, do you, Mrs.?" I ignore him and turn to his wife. "You must have been excited when you heard about my savings," I say, "but I have bad news for you." John and his wife glare at me, but I stay calm. At this point, my brother steps in. "Excuse me, I'm Henry Thompson, a lawyer. I'll explain on behalf of my sister. Only the money saved during a marriage can be divided. Anything saved before marriage belongs only to the person who earned it. My sister saved that $200,000 before she married John. That means it's her money, and you two have no claim to it. The only money left in the shared account was 60 cents. Half of that belongs to John, which means his share is 30 cents. There's no point in arguing. It seems my sister was saving for your future, but I believe you spent it all on the woman sitting next to you." Henry speaks calmly, but John and his wife look stunned. John tries to fight back, but Henry cuts him off. "Everything I just said was as Lori's brother," Henry says. "Now, as her lawyer, I have a question. My client requested compensation. Why haven't you paid her yet?" "That's right, John was supposed to pay me, but he only gave me part of the money. Where was the rest?" That's why I officially asked my brother to step in. My real lawyer is his colleague, but since we weren't expecting John to show up today, Henry is handling things for now. John and his wife fall silent under Henry's sharp gaze and firm words. "You want a share of the money? You were the one who had an affair. You caused the divorce. It makes no sense for you to ask for anything. On top of that, you spent the money my sister had been saving for both of you. Now, my sister is asking you to pay her back everything you owe, plus the compensation. That's impossible," John shouts. His wife grabs his arm, trying to stop him as he stands up and kicks the table. "Honey, let's stop, we can't win this," she whispers. When Henry mentions taking them to court, John finally gives up and tells the truth. After our divorce, he lost his job. His wife is unemployed too, so they started borrowing money. Now, they have so much debt that they can't even afford to pay me what they owe. Desperate for money, they remembered my savings and thought they could get half of it by talking about dividing property. I'm speechless as they suddenly change their attitude and start begging me for help. My brother shakes his head, silently telling me not to believe them. I don't feel sorry for them at all. I tell them they still have to pay me back. Then, I ask my father and brother to show them out. It feels like I just survived a storm. My mom lets out a sigh of relief and starts cleaning up. My dad is still fuming. "What a terrible man," he mutters as he helps her. Henry rubs my back. "You did nothing wrong. Be proud of yourself, for today and for divorcing him," he says. He reminds me that we'll make sure they pay what they owe and calls his colleague right away. "Everyone at the law firm is on your side," he reassures me. I sigh. I'm so exhausted. "Mom. You did great. Why don't we go out for steak tonight to cheer up?" I collapse into my mom's arms, hugging her. My dad and brother agree, and we all have a wonderful time at dinner. Later, with my brother's help, his colleague, and the law firm, I finally get my money back. John and his wife can't find good jobs, so they're both stuck working multiple part-time jobs. They won't be buying a house, a car, or going on vacation anytime soon. It seems they've finally realized how much I supported them, because now, when we pass each other on the street, they actually greet me politely. That's fine, I've moved on. I'm now in a happy relationship with the lawyer who worked on my case. Henry thinks he's perfect for me. A year after my divorce, I'm planning to introduce him to my parents soon. I know they'll be happy for me. Looking back, I didn't understand what John meant when he talked about the love of his life. But now, I think I've truly found mine.